Okay, so tonight I'm not going to speak about politics. Well, I'm not going to speak about Biden, his term, election fraud, other than to say that, I have let people know, and I posted a video from Tucker Carlson, and he let people know, and um, all over media on the right, people are just letting people know what may come, what may happen. So, and what really will happen, I don't know. But I do know that I still support Trump. I support free speech. I support Trump supporters. I don't support violence or the ones who attacked the Capitol. And if you realize, only some of those supporters attacked the Capitol, not all of them. And so that's it. And I don't support demonizing uh, Trump supporters at all. So now, what I want to talk about is we just had Martin Luther King Day just 2 days ago, Monday, and I'm not gonna I'm not gonna quote him, and I'm not gonna say much about anything except that his goal was peaceful and for to be able to all men and women to be able to interact with each other, and be uh, peaceful and happy and real friends, okay? So I'm going to say a few things about that. The Democratic take, from what I understand, and what I would like to do to help ensure that happens. Okay, so the Democratic take is this. Okay, so they want to, well, now I'm talking about politics a little bit. So, sorry. Anyway, they want to re educate white people or white supremacists or white people. They want to re educate white people. They want to uh, allow minorities to feel victimized, and they want to create after social programs that that empower minorities by giving them jobs, and or giving them welfare, bigger checks, and you know keeping them on food stamps, so they can survive, you know? And what are they going to do about education? I don't know. And they're just going to leave education the way it is. They're just going to add more money to it. Okay, so here's where I come in. And my idea of making, and so people, oh, and then I just want to also say some stuff I saw on Facebook. It was a training drill for uh, for white people and black people. So they were all standing in a field. There were about maybe 20 people, and they were mixed. There were black people, white people, and no, they were just black and white people. And they started all in a line like this, okay, facing that way. So they were shoulder to shoulder, and the person in charge said everyone who went to school in the United States stepped forward. And so they all stepped forward. And then he said something like, you know, and then he said, I don't remember. a few things that everyone had in common. Then he said, if you had a private tutor, take one step forward. Okay, so only a few people, and you can guess they were all white people who stepped forward. And if you were able to pay for college, uh, step forward. So more white people stepped forward. And if you, um, if you were on the honor roll, step forward, things like that. Just all things like that about education. And the whole point was to show people show the white people how disadvantaged the black people were. Okay, so now, okay, and in my opinion, it's just an opinion, it does two things. It makes white people feel bad about being white, and it makes black people feel bad about being black. And that's true. That's very, very true. Okay, so now everyone, uh, I think everyone should get along. I love all humanity, and I'm Hispanic, so I know. I know racism, but I don't accuse every white person of being racist. You know, I've lived and I know it's not true. So, and I know I I went to Catholic school for a little while. For 4 years of my education, I went to Catholic school. The rest of the time I was in public school. And then I went to community college, and then I went to the University of Findlay. Hold on. So I saw different perspectives. I saw different types of education. And I know that um, I hated high school, hated it, and I liked college and the university a lot better. And I'll get back to that in a moment. So what I want to, but I saw the difference. I saw the difference between um, the um, the public schools and the private schools. Okay, and there were minorities at the private schools, just not that many. And so, and I saw that everyone was involved in education, and the parents were involved, and everyone tried to do well. And one time I did poorly in one class, and I was called into the principal's office, and the principal let me know that I had better shape up because my parents were paying a lot of money for me to go to school there. Okay, so I had better, but they cared. But they cared. The principal cared that students were successful. And so then when I went to West Tech, and I'm not putting West Tech down because I absolutely loved West Tech. I loved it. I loved, and I've talked about it. I've said it over and over again, so it's on record. It is on record. You absolutely loved West Tech. I did. I did. I loved West Tech, so I'm not putting it down. I'm just using it as an example of a public high school. And in the inner city. Okay, so now when I went there, I started failing all my classes because it was so lenient, and I didn't they passed me. They passed me on, and then they passed me on, and this is what I'm talking about. I know I failed some classes, and they just gave me a passing grade. And this is what I'm talking about, what happens in education. And that's why a lot of students are not prepared for college. Okay? Because first of all, they don't address the entire child back in elementary. Okay? You have to address the entire child. Now, I worked in inner cities in elementary, and I know that kindergartners, first graders, second graders, and up until third, let me think about the fourth and fourth, third and fourth, up until fourth grade, and this was in how many schools did I work at? I don't remember, but a few. And up until fourth grade, the students were happy, joyful, ready for the world, ready to go on to the next class. They did their homework. They were excited to be there. And then somewhere around fifth or sixth grade, it started to change. And then high school, it was like, people go to their high school. I went to my high school because I loved it, and people were there because they wanted to support the school. But were they being successful? Not really. Not really. And I don't know what happens, except the only thing I can point to, because I taught in these schools and I went to these schools, is that there is a very large lack of community support and a large lack of parental involvement. And so when you try to teach a child, and a lack of addressing the child's, whole needs, everything. Now they had when I went to public and element when I went to public elementary here in Cleveland, I did have some speech classes. So I did take speech, and um so they addressed that. And but did they address my emotional issues? You know, I had been destroyed at 3. So, no, they didn't. And, they put me in the lowest track because, I was having trouble reading because I couldn't remember what I was reading because I was so mentally destroyed. And so I would read a line and then forget what I read. So, but then I got better, but they didn't raise the track I was on. They didn't. And no, they didn't. And I stayed on the bottom rung, even though I went to Catholic school and I did well. When I went back to public school, they put me on the bottom rung again. I did well in Catholic school. So they put me on the bottom rung again. So that needs to be addressed. And so now what I'm getting at is this, okay? It's not putting more money into the schools if they're going to just function the same way. Oh, you're going to get them more books, or uh you're going to get something else for the schools or whatever. Okay, that's fine. But the way education is handled in this country, it's terrible. It's terrible. In the first place, people don't always like to sit still, okay? And people don't always like to be in a straight line or sitting at a hard desk. They don't like that, okay? I didn't. I hated it, you know? And and that's true. That's very, very true. Many, many students are unsuccessful because they can't sit still. So you expect everyone across the board to sit still. Okay. Okay. It is productive for all students to sit still and be quiet while you teach. That's very productive. But if you, I'll get to how well, you already know how I would rearrange education. So it's very productive, but it doesn't work. Not for all students. And sitting at a hard desk, that doesn't work for all students either. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. And you may say, well, you have to prepare them for the work world. Okay, you can prepare them for the work world by letting them know that in the work world, you will have to sit at what they give you. Okay? If you are, um, you will have to sit at whatever type of seating the employer gives you. Okay? But, I mean, there's nothing wrong with letting the students know what's ahead for them. And so maybe they want to practice and sit in a hard seat. I don't know. Some people like it. Some people like that kind of structure, you know? So, but my point of all of this about education and making black people feel bad about their education and white people feel guilty about their education is this. Okay, everyone is supposed to get along and sit together nicely and be happy. Okay, so now, if white people feel bad, I don't want someone to be my friend just because they feel bad for me. And that's true. And I don't want someone to feel bad about themselves at all because of a lack of because of a lack of good education. I wouldn't want that either. So, okay, so now we are setting up an uneven acceptance in this country. Now, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of black people, plenty of minorities who go to schools, even inner city schools, and they're very successful. But even in the most uh, successful high schools, it is difficult, and there are people who fail in the white suburban high schools. There are people who fail because they cannot adapt to that type of seating and environment, and that's true. Okay, so now let me get back to minorities. I'm going to say minorities because I'm tired of it all being black and white. It's minorities and white. It's not just black and white. And that's true too. Okay, so now um, minorities who went to public school and didn't have a perfect education and may or may not have gone to college, even if they went to college. People make them feel bad because they went to a public high school. Mm, and anyway, so we're setting it all up, and I know I'm going around and around in a circle. I'm just trying to connect it somehow so that you see what I'm trying to talk about. Right now, it is very important to the Democrats. Well, it's always important to me for everyone to accept everyone else. Okay? For people to be able to be friends with everyone and accept everyone else. Okay? And be able to sit together and and uh and you know feel equal to each other. Okay? but we start off with education. I'm just mentioning education. There's a whole lot of other things for minorities. See, I'm moving it away from black and white. Okay, I'm moving it away from black and white because it's minorities and white. Okay? And it's not all minorities and it's not all white people because there are underprivileged white people too. Okay, so white people are not privileged they're not born with that privilege. Okay? White people there are underprivileged white people too. There are privileged Hispanics, there are privileged blacks, there are privileged Asians, there are privileged every minority. There are some that are privileged and some that aren't. And some uh but they're making a big deal about white privilege, white privilege. Well, I know a lot of white people who weren't privileged. Okay, so now everyone is supposed to accept everyone, and white people are supposed to feel bad about themselves, and minorities are supposed to feel bad about themselves, and but they're all supposed to get along because this is a good country and well, it's a bad country according to them. And because white people have been in power so long and there's white privilege and all that. And and this also and so it also sets up with this type of dynamic where you have white people, being assumed to have all the privileges and minorities being assumed to be disadvantaged. What that sets up is jealousy and envy. So now people want to be white. They want to be just like white people. They want to do everything white people do. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that there are beautiful things in every culture. Beautiful things. And now we have people who are are saying, first, everyone get along. We're all the same. Everybody get along. We're all the same with this and that. But if a white person or some other minority that isn't part of the group of minority that they're doing this to, if a white person takes something from a minority group, like a hairstyle or wears something traditional, then they're being racist or insensitive. And so goes the same thing for other groups. So goes the same thing for other groups. But people trying to take things from the white culture are trying to act white. Or I don't know. So there's envy and there is resentment. It sets up resentment and envy on the part of the minorities. And that is absolutely true. It's absolutely true. Absolutely. It's true. So, and then it sets up a way for some people. Look, it took me forever to mature. Forever. And, I know people have said the things that I said, and I was in a spell for a lot of it, but it took me forever to mature. And so people who may not be that mature may feel superior. Okay? And I'm not saying that they do. I'm just saying that, maturity. It takes time to mature. And this is also extremely true and something that people need to realize. It takes people time to mature. And if you are constantly being told that you are that you are superior, not that you are superior, that you have had it better or that you have white privilege, then, and you're immature, you would start to, anyone who was constantly told they have white privilege and it's being shown to them that everyone wants to be like them or be friends with them or marry them or whatever. I don't say marry. Okay, I didn't say that. No, I said it. Okay. I did not say that I had a white husband, so I'm not saying a word about that. Okay, so no. But everyone wants to be like you and the rest that I said. Um, and then naturally, those people who may not be that mature would start to feel a bit of superior. It's natural. It is, it's basic human psychology. If you're not mature, and so people who are not mature yet really feel that way. And it doesn't matter how old you are, okay? It doesn't matter, okay? Because if you're young, you can, let me stop and say this. You can be mature in one way and immature in another way, okay? You can see things from one perspective and be perfectly clear at it, and then see another thing and come at it at a different point from a different perspective and it be an immature perspective. And that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Okay, so now, and I just came up with that. I don't, it is true. It's true. And so now, my idea, my idea of making sure that everyone gets along and sits together and feels equal to each other. Okay, so let me back up just a little bit. So that sets up inequality in inequality in a psychological inequality, and that's absolutely true. It sets up a psychological inequality. So no matter how much people get together and say, yes, it's great and this and that, there's still, and not for everyone, but people who are not mature enough yet, there's still a psychological inequality. And that is absolutely true. So now, my idea. My idea. Okay? My idea is this. Um, like I said before, everyone, everyone has my schools. Everyone across the board in the United States. Everyone has my schools. Now, I'm I'm being told they're going to be magnet schools, not magnet schools, but charter schools. Okay, and they will be charter schools. So everyone will have a choice. You don't have to go to my schools if you don't want to. Okay, but people will want to go because it's such great education. Okay, so, all right. So, and it's fun, and it's fun. And it really is student centered. Okay, so there. Now, and family centered. And family centered. Okay, so now, and community centered. And community centered too. Okay, so, in my schools, everyone will get a great education. You'll learn the same thing everywhere, but when you get things that are part of your culture, will be emphasized. So you feel good about them, and everyone will learn about everyone's culture. Everyone will learn about everyone's culture, but you'll have extra things for your culture so that you feel really good about yourself. And I know they do this in public schools. I know they do, but it's not like all the cultures are taught and people are see this, and we're not going to teach it in a demeaning way, okay? We're not going to say, well, white people do all this and minorities are like this. We're not going to say that. We're just going to mention objectively, just objectively, what the cultures are like. And that is excellent. 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 Okay, objective. That's it. Just objective. Um we're not going to put an emphasis on anything. Okay? And so we're not going to degrade anything either. Okay? So and then uh everyone will get the same curriculum, and just everyone will learn all the different cultures, and then everyone will also have special things for the cultures that are involved in each school. Okay? So you'll get special things, and everyone will go to the special things. It's not just for one group of people. This is inclusive. So, if there's a special thing for Hispanic students, Latino students, or Hispanic students, whichever you want to say, I don't care what you say. Okay, so I say Hispanic, but you can say Latino, it doesn't matter. So, Hispanic students or Latino students, and it's a very special thing. Okay, so some things, now my men are telling me, some things will be just for that group, and some things will be for everyone to see. Okay, okay. So, because, you know, people need to feel really good about their identities, you know? Really good. And if you feel confident in yourself and you feel happy about yourself, then you're going to be happy about other people. And that's absolutely true. Okay, so now, so you know all the rest of the story. Go through the entire education and exploratory classes in the high school, and special presentations and special special 2-day training shops or training, vocational training or whatever in the high schools. And then in each community, job opportunities. And this is where I can point to the cities whose central business districts have been destroyed. You know, they can always move the businesses into the community, into the different communities, and leave that area for something else. Because that way, everyone has access to a great job. And that is a very good point, and we've already covered it, but it's true. It's true. And I would provide jobs too. And yes, she will provide jobs. There will be jobs. No matter what happens, there will be jobs in every community. Jobs, good paying jobs that people like, or just jobs, all kinds of jobs, not just one type of job. It's not going to be just business, or it's going to be business, education, um, anything, well, not anything you want, because I'm sure there won't be everything in there, but there'll be enough opportunity that people would be satisfied with the job they receive. And I said that. Your man. One of your men. Okay. Okay. So now, once everyone is on equal footing, once they get out of high school, they are on equal footing to go to any college. or university. Okay. And so then they can go to school. And I'm sure by that time, I will have many, many universities out there for people to go to if they don't want to go to other kinds of schools. But I would suggest they get at least a couple years in something else so they see their difference. Okay, and that's a very, very good point. That's a very, very, very good point. You don't want to be stuck in the same thing, and that colors your entire world for for life. You have to get out there and see what's out there, and that's true. So we're going to keep that in mind. Okay, we're going to discuss that and then make an announcement to the public. Okay, so now once everyone either has a job or went to college and has a job or whatever they want to do, people have had an equal education. People's parents were able to work while their kids went to school. People were able to get good jobs once they left school. People truly, because we're working with families and communities, truly learn citizenship. Okay? Because that's something that people say they want to teach students, but in these really messed up schools, how are you going to teach citizenship when you don't address the entire family, the entire child, or anything like that? And that is an excellent, excellent point. So people will truly, truly learn citizenship. Okay? People should be extremely proud of their education and of their identity, um of their ethnicity. Okay? They should be or race or ethnicity. They should be extremely proud of that, and then and they should be extremely accepting of everyone else. And when they meet everyone else who went to the same kinds of schools and are on equal footing, they will get along without the psychological dynamic of feeling inferior and superior. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant and genius. And yes, that's true. Okay, so now, on that note, and I know I said a little bit, I only touched on it, but I don't know enough about it right now that it's set up right now that if other groups use some other group's things like hairdos or dress or or speech code, whatever, then they're taking from that group and then they're racist or they're attacked for it. So I don't know the rest of it. So I'm going to get back into that a little in one of the future vlogs. Okay, but anyway, I just wanted to point all this out. So now, once we have people on equal footing and friends, no one feels superior, you don't have that dynamic anymore, that's when everyone can come together and sit and be friends for real. And that ends racism. And that's true. That ends racism. That ends all of the horrible things. Maybe not all of it, because there's still some people who are immature and no more messages like that. Okay, so it does. It ends racism. So that's my plan. Anyway, so and I do hope I'm not going to quote Martin Luther King because I don't want people attacking me, but I do hope that everyone can get together sit together and feel um, love for everyone in the room and feel equal. Everyone feels equal, like they're all on even footing. And that would happen with your plan. If oh, okay. Okay, so on that note now, I'm going to end this vlog and I'm going to say I hope everybody watching has a great day tomorrow and things go your way. All right, bye.